you guys? Welcome to the next episode of Reverse Mother Wound, where we talk about shadows, distortions within the feminine energy, wounds that are within you, that exist within you, and if they are unhealed and not attended, you are actually creating a mother wound within your child. This is the last episode. There's going to be one more bonus episode because there's a specific topic that I want to talk about, but this is the last episode where we are comparing distorted and divine qualities. And today we are comparing words versus embodiment. And it's something that I've mentioned already in previous episodes, but today really we're going to focus on what is the difference between what I say to my child through words, what I teach my child through saying certain things, and actual embodiment, because we cannot teach anything. As a mother, as a father, as an older sister, as a teacher, as a spiritual teacher, we cannot teach through just words. We teach through embodiment, example, right? We have to be something that we want to teach. And today in this episode, we're also going to talk about specifically in context of how do we teach divinity for embodiment. So how we create children that don't carry woundings, that don't have mother wound, father wounds, and are not distorted, but they're actually divine. So how do we raise a divine masculine son, and how do we raise a divine feminine daughter? And it's going to be a bit different. We're analyzing this today again from the perspective of a mother, so divine feminine energy, the mother, because again, as I've mentioned before, everything starts from a woman. We come from a woman. Creation, initiation, it's all within the feminine energy. Even if you're in a male vessel, you have feminine and masculine. Creation, initiation starts from the feminine energy, from connection to the divine. So we're going to be talking about how do you raise divine children, aligned children, and we will strongly focus on, as I've mentioned and flagged this to you guys before, on the mothers of boys, because it is one of the most special relationships and the trickiest relationship on this planet, because there's so many woundings within feminine energy, and we talk about this often, right? That women just love to complain on men. Men are this, men are that. Why are men like this? But they come out of us. We raise them. And we choose them. We are the creation, we are the gatekeeper, we are the standard setter, we are the bar setter. And that's what we're going to address today. What is actually the role of a mother to make sure that who you are raising is a divine masculine man, is a true man, a man that this world needs, especially in times of today. So I just want to briefly address, obviously, how we teach through embodiment. So if you do have a daughter, how you're going to raise a divine feminine daughter is through actually being a divine feminine mother. So she will learn the qualities of true divine feminine, which is, creativity, sensuality. She's loving, she's self-loving, she's trusting, she's vulnerable, she's accepting, she's forgiving, she's fierce, she's strong, she's patient. All the qualities, you have to embody these qualities. You cannot just simply say something to your daughter in a mindset of, I did not manage to do it, so hopefully you will, and I'm going to push you to it, because it's not how it works. We cannot teach for anything but embodiment. And when we talk about daughters specifically, to visualize this to you, I love giving this one example, and perhaps you've experienced this. I myself experienced this. I knew so many women who experienced this, and this is the greatest example. If you say to your daughter every day, you are beautiful, your body is beautiful, you are good enough, love your body, you don't have to, be on diets, you don't have to shame your body, you are perfect just the way you are. And then you proceed you yourself to say rubbish like, oh my God, I've been eating so much recently, I have to move on a diet, or I have to start going to the gym, nothing fits me, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too skinny. Well, imagine that your daughter will not love herself. It is lack of coherence. It is lack of consistency. It is lack of embodiment. You are trying to teach her something, and children are not stupid, right? So it's not going to be a conscious pattern of thinking, but subconsciously that child's going to be like, how the hell are you saying me that my body is good enough? And oftentimes, like for example, in my case, like I was always bigger, more chubbier, and more sort of a hourglass, fluffy shape than my mother. My mother was always very tiny and very skinny. Yet she would, say all these beautiful things about me and proceed to stand in front of a mirror and say that she was too fat. So how, make it make sense. How the hell it's logical? Make it make sense. If you do not love yourself, if you do not love your body, you will not be able to teach your child that. You will not be able to teach your child to love your body. And this is an example, but I could give you millions of examples to each one of these qualities. We will explore some of them as well as we focus on the mother-boy kind of a relationship. But it's exactly that. If you do not love yourself, if you are not creative, sensual, if you don't have healthy boundaries, if you're not trusting, if you're not accepting, if you're not embodying worthiness, if you're not patient, nurturing, all the qualities of the divine feminine, if you are not that, no matter how much you want to support your daughter in being that, she won't be that. You will translate the same wound onto her. An important thing for you guys to remember, because oftentimes it's something that you raise with me, but my mother was completely different than I was, and then her mother was completely different. Yeah, because how we react to base core wounds is different. And I always give you guys the same example. The same wound, which is abandonment wound, creates a distortion within attachment style. But whether you're going to go towards anxiety or towards avoidance, that will depend on your unique frequency. It will depend on your base core energy. It will depend on the environment and on different elements of your environment. But what actually is the root cause of the fact that you are either avoidant or anxious is the abandonment. So your mother may have been a completely different person because she reacted to these woundings differently, and her mother may have been a completely different person to an outside observer. But it all started from the same core wounds for all of you. So remember that. All right, so we know that if you are a mother of a girl, in order to teach her to be a divine feminine, love herself, respect herself, value herself, trust in life, be strong, love her body, you have to embody all these qualities yourself. There is no other way. There is no bypassing that, period. Now, let's get to the good part because I'm loving this. I'm loving observing mothers of boys, and I especially love them complaining on men. And here they are complaining on their exes, complaining on men generally, and what they are raising is the worst of worst in comparison to what they are complaining. And we're going to address this in a moment. And again, remember, the core thing to remember when we are healing is there is no good and evil, there is no bad, right? So we're not here to shame you as a person, as a mother. We are here to help you understand, so you actually heal the wounds within you and raise a divine masculine man, because that act itself, that's the best thing that you can do for this world. As someone who is a mother, to raise men are architects of this world. We are now looking towards men. Obviously, everything starts from a woman, right? But we operate on a 5D level. We are the creatrix. We work with energy subconsciously. Men are designed to ground all these things into existence. So in order to build new earth, we need divine masculine men, right? And if women cannot heal enough to start raising divine masculine men and choosing divine masculine men, we'll never build new earth, right? So it's very important to approach this with no shame, just Pure understanding and awareness. All right, so how do I raise my boy to be a divine masculine man, right? The man that we all dream of. There are two ways that you are teaching that, because in reality, to what a mother is meant to teach her boy, obviously you're not going to be able to teach him through embodiment. Yes, you do have your masculine energy as well. So if you, for example, are raising your child on your own, you can technically teach both. The presence of embodiment of masculine energy is always healthy for a young boy, but you can teach both because we both have feminine and masculine, right? So healing your masculine energy is an important element of the package as well. But the embodiment is something that your partner would teach them, just like you would teach embodiment of the feminine qualities. Your partner, divine masculine partner, would teach embodiment of masculine qualities to your son. What the mother is meant to teach is the healthy divine flow, because it starts from us. We are, again, the gatekeepers, the bar setters, the value setters. The healthy divine flow within a masculine and a feminine dynamics is initiated by the feminine. If you want to learn more about the divine flow, you can go to my website. There's a section that is called Divine Love in the menu, and there are a couple of articles in there about divine love, divinity, divine feminine, divine masculine. And if you go to divine flow, there's an in-depth explanation of how it's supposed to look like, and you can click there. There's a video about this as well. We'll bottom line this a little bit in this video for context, but your job as a mother is to teach basically a healthy divine proper interaction between masculine and feminine in this world, that is based on equality, but also differences, right? So we are equals. No one is superior, no one is inferior, but we're very different. We're meant to be different because we're part of a whole, yin and yang, right? Masculine, feminine, black and white. We're part of a whole. We don't fully exist without each other. We need each other, but we have to respect each other because we are equals. It's just that we do different things in this world, 3D, 5D, right? So one way you teach this to your son is obviously through reinforcing that healthy flow with your own partner. So if there's a distortion within your relationship, this is why we always say, and we've just been talking about this for so long on my channel, why you will never raise a healthy child and a divine child if you are in a karmic relationship. It's just not possible, because in karmic relationship, you're not going to be able to have that healthy flow. So it's actually better to separate from your karmic partner and show your child that healthy flow and healthy divine masculine, divine feminine relationship between you and other men, which can be any man, because we should maintain that flow not just in romantical relationship, but in friendships, in family ships, right? So you are actually, it's better to leave that karmic partner and show your child that as a divine feminine, you can connect with other masculines, be it your own father, your brothers, your male friends, and colleagues from work, and how that divine flow operates. So you teach this for your partner. Your child is observing. Your child, whatever dynamics you have, rest assured your child will be repeating the same dynamics. Okay, in one shape or another. It may, sometimes it changes. This is why the people don't understand that, right? Because sometimes, you know, you can have a chauvinistic, abusive husband, and your boy will not become that, but he may become a person who will find themselves a woman who will be exactly that. He will be in his sort of a wounded feminine, so it will be reversed, right? So how your child learns this flow is through the flow of the parent. So what are you accepting in a relationship? What is the flow of your relationship with your partner, with your masculine partner? That's how he will learn. Now, the second part, how he will learn, second way he will learn, and that's something that we're going to focus on because it's important, is that you have to reinforce that flow between you and your son. When we have a child, when the child is little, it's a baby and then it's a toddler, we sort of teach them basic things, right? As a mother, you have to, through embodiment, you have to teach that child self-love, worthiness, unconditional worthiness, acceptance, right? So you don't create those core wounds of abandonment, rejection, betrayal, and so on and so forth, right? Basics of humanity, really. It seems so simple. So you teach it to your child. And then when our child reaches puberty, they will naturally either drop into their feminine or raise into their masculine. 90% it will be, I don't like to really give you percentage here because it's a complex topic, but your soul actually chooses the body that you're going to be inhabiting, contrary to some beliefs, but your soul actually chooses that body. And our bodies are designed physically, biologically, chemically to be the embodiment of the same energy. So for most part, in a healthy family setting, at puberty, your boy will raise into his masculine and your girl will drop into her feminine. Now, the moment it happens, so the moment your son starts to grow up, he's in his teens, he's going through puberty, early teens, you have to stop, for the love of God, treating him like a small, innocent baby. Okay, he's still your baby. He's always going to be. This is where most mothers of boys got it all wrong because of their own wounding. So pay attention. He's always going to be your baby, fine. You're always going to love him. But he's now a young man. And if you don't treat him that, if you don't teach him how to be a young man, how to interact with women, because at that age, puberty, it stops being just, we're all humans. If you think about this, children taken outside of the conditioning, right? They really don't care about gender, skin color. It's conditioning that they adapt from their parents. And they've done even research on that. And there's a variety of videos you can watch online, how little children, when they raise properly, they don't even know what you're talking about. If you start to ask them what skin color this child has, or is it a boy or a girl? Yeah, they're different, but we're all different, right? It's like more of a mush. We're humans to them because they're innocent, because they're lovely, they're children. We mess them up, right? So they don't really think about this. Religion, skin color, gender, all this bullshit and all this nonsense, they don't think about this. It's irrelevant because they remember they're more connected to their soul than they're not yet messed up, right? But the moment they go through their puberty, they start to see this. There's the feminine, there's the masculine. We're equals, but we're very different, right? But how do I interact with that? How do I actually treat women? And, many women love just to shift the blame on men, but we teach them how they should interact with a woman. First, through observing how you allow yourself to be treated by your partner and by other men, but then actually creating that healthy dynamics of the feminine and masculine with your son. From the moment that he is very young, he's entering puberty. He is in his early teens, right? Mid-teens. So what does it actually mean? Bottom line, you stop treating him like your little, precious, amazing prince, okay? And you start teaching him accountability. You start teaching him manhood. You start teaching him respect. You start teaching him that flow that means I, as a feminine, your mother, I trust you, and in the physical, I start to show you submission, healthy submission in the physical, but you accept my role as the bridge to higher realms, as the oracle, as the one who is more connected and tapped in intuition. You submit to me in the 5D, in the spirit realm, in the realm of intuition and unknown and intangible. So, a couple of things as in sort of examples that I want to really address and highlight, because this is where most mothers, like mothers of boys, oh my God, this is the moment a woman has a baby boy, there should be like a spiritual workshop, okay? Because otherwise we're not going to get out of this collective wound ever. First thing that you need to understand is that you cannot put your son on a pedestal, okay? In your heart, yes, he's always going to be your baby boy and your little prince, and you can tell him that, and that's fine. Shower him with unconditional love. It's important. But make sure that love is healthy. Because if you put him on a pedestal, in a sense of no woman will ever be good enough for you. No woman will ever love you more than your mommy, okay? You are just so amazing. You deserve everything. The bar is through the floor. You are not teaching him the accountability. You're not teaching him that he actually has to take accountability for who he is, for his actions. This is where it's tricky, and I get it, because we have to teach them that your love is unconditional. He can go to jail, he can be a horrible person, you're going to love him because your love is unconditional. But how you treat him, how you speak to him, what lives brings to him, that's not unconditional. Because if you teach him that, all you're doing is you're raising another Andrew Tate. I promise you that. You have to teach him that he is not above everything. He's not above the system. He's not above women, right? No matter what he does, you will love him. But this doesn't mean that he is amazing with no measures, right? Again, there's a spectrum of frequency that he has to understand from a very young age, that there is a divinity and there's distortion. We aspire for divinity. We aspire for true manhood. You are not on no one's pedestal. You are not better than other boys. You are not better than other girls. Yes, you are my son, and to me you will always be special because you got out of my portal. But this doesn't mean that I don't hold you accountable for certain things, that I don't raise the bar for you, that I don't show you how to be a true man. So all of this nonsense of no one is ever good for you, nothing is ever good for you, no girl is ever good for you, you are teaching him superiority over women. A mother is no other different woman than other women, is no different woman than other women. That's what you have to teach him, because most mothers do that and make that mistake. They think that, you can disrespect other women. No woman is good enough for you, no girl is good enough for you, but your mama is here, right? With you on that pedestal. Oh my God, don't get me going. So please remember that. Unconditional love is not accepting BS. Unconditional love doesn't mean that you are accepting within your boy, within your son, BS, chauvinistic, disrespectful, separation kind of a behavior. We are different, but we're equals. You are raising someone who's supposed to be a protector and provider for women. But in order to do that as well, to teach him how to treat women, you have to teach him that through embodiment. So through self, right? So that healthy submission has to happen from early age, from that puberty, from the teens. You have to start showing your boy that you trust him. I'm not over controlling. I don't call you 10 times a day. I don't control your life. I don't know better. We've talked about this when we've covered the episode of freedom and control. I trust you. Yes, still in the background, you are there because he's young. You're watching over him. You're making sure everything is right. You're still educating him. You're still a mother of a child. But you already starts to show, I trust you. I trust you to make those decisions on your own. I trust you how to treat a woman. So you have to find a way, in a healthy way, to imagine, because if this element of no woman will ever be good enough for my boy exists within you, you won't be able to raise a healthy partner. You have to look at him not as your precious little prince, but imagine that you are raising a man that you would want to be with one day, right? So if you want to teach him to respect women, to worship women, to respect, cherish, devote themselves to women, you cannot keep saying that no woman will ever be good enough, and then mommy will do everything for you. You don't have to clean, you don't have to pick up the dishes, you don't have to take out the trash. Mommy is your maid, mommy is your everything, mommy accepts everything. You can always come back to mommy. You're creating distortion. You treat him how to treat women. You treat him that we are equals, but we're completely different. And it's not about fully understanding that difference, because in this lifetime he may not know what's it like to be a woman, but he has to be respectful. He has to understand that woman is the closest thing to God that we have on this earth. She deserves respect. She deserves devotion. She is a life-giving oracle on this earth, a woman who is in her divinity. So similarly, you will have to teach him how to be divine through you yourself being a divine feminine. But you teach him what a woman allows. So there has to be an element of that healthy divine flow outside of obviously, romanticizing and right? But a man and a woman, as you raise your boy, teach him through you how to treat future women who will be present in his life, whether that's a partner or friends or whoever. We teach that. Many women think that they do, but they actually don't. So it's going to be important for you to really watch that episode about control versus freedom, right? The divine feminine doesn't control, doesn't think that she knows better. She trusts the masculine to take decisions for himself. She is the initiation, she is the intuition, she is the wisdom keeper. She can share certain things, but then I trust you will be able to take your own choices. And remember, obviously it's not life choices when it's a small child, but it's the world expands as we grow. So he is already empowered to take certain choices for himself. You are a guide, you are not the ruler, right? And before we close, I want to bring to your attention one thing. When we talk about a distortion within the feminine energy, I oftentimes teach you guys that there's usually sort of two types of distortions depending on where you're going to go towards as a feminine. Obviously, it's not so plain and so easy, but for most part, there's a part of women who are distorted, who go more towards a victim mentality, people pleasing. So those going to be women who are depressed, needy, who have absolutely zero boundaries, that doormat to others, that people pleasers, right? And then on the other side, there's going to be a woman who, because she is distorted, she has closed her heart, she has closed her softness, and she's operating in her masculine energy. So she's going to be more controlling, more validation seeking, more that masculine energy, locked heart. She's not going to have softness. She's not going to have, that beautiful, caring energy within her. She's going to be that boss lady, but in a negative way, right? In a very masculine way, distorted masculine. Again, closed heart, oftentimes chauvinistic without realizing they are chauvinistic. If you raised a man who's a chauvinist, you yourself are chauvinistic. You have to accept that. There's just no other way. It's easy to shift blame on your past partner, but if you accepted this partner, there's a part of you that accepts that women are inferior. So here you go. So you're going to have those sort of two spectrums, right, of distortion within the feminine energy. Obviously in the center is the divine feminine, the healthy balanced feminine energy, and these two distortions. And when you translate those distortions into raising a boy, there are two sort of mirror effect, sort of a mirror effects. So an equivalent of that woman who is depressed, has no boundaries, victim mentality, people pleasing, you know, doesn't have those good guts, right? In a masculine sort of a reflection of that is going to be someone who is very much in his distorted feminine energy as well. This man that is a bit of a sissy, you know. This is this man that doesn't have the balls, doesn't have this manhood and an understanding of action taker. So this is going to be this boy. You're going to raise that boy that will be searching for that leadership within a woman, right? And direction within a woman. So they're going to be gravitating more towards controlling women that will tell them what to do. They won't have that what we call that character, the strength of the character, right? Whereas on the other side of the distortion, and again, remember, this is not about being good or bad. This may be the best person, a beautiful soul, an amazing soul, but as a man, he won't be able to raise into his masculine energy, into the empowered creator and architect of this physical world. Constantly fearful, constantly avoidant, constantly just, you know, operating on that level of fear. Whereas when you talk about that other side, so the mother with a locked heart, the mirrored sort of masculine distortion of that is going to be that narcissistic asshole. What you want me to say? These mothers tend to create, you know, those kind of boys that disrespect women, boys who thinks that they're superior, as the Andrew Tate kind of a person. That's a bit of it may be too, you know, he's a very impersonification of a masculine distortion. But there are many men like that, men who think that, you know, a woman is there to serve, and she's below, and remember what I told you in the beginning, that how we react to certain wounding will depend on our unique frequency and other environments. So these two distorted feminine energies can create reverse effect, right? So you may have people-pleasing, dramatic, depressed, victim mentality, sort of a fearful mother that will actually raise that narcissistic son that will sort of see the weakness of the distortion of the mother within every woman, and that's how he's going to be treating other women. So he's going to be raising into that power, because we usually it's beautifully seen in children of people who have addictions, that you either fall in the same addiction or you never do this again. So if your father, for example, your mother was an alcoholic, you either end up following the same pattern of addictions, or you never even drink a drop, right? So this is going to be a same effect. So you're either going to go into same but within masculine version, or you're going to go completely opposite. So similarly, that mother who is masculine, locked hard, she thinks she's strong and she's empowered, but she's completely locked away from her femininity. She either gonna create the copy, which is very dangerous, and it's gonna be exactly that narcissistic, aggressive, chauvinistic man, or it's gonna go to the other side of the coin, and she's gonna create that I don't know what word to use so it's not pejorative and it's not negative. But it's a little bit that. It's that soft sissy. It's that man that, you know, always looks towards women. What do we do now? True divine masculine man is a decision taker. He does not look towards a mother, towards a woman, and this is exactly what you're supposed to teach him as a woman. If you constantly teach him, check with mommy, ask mommy will give you the best advice, mommy will tell you what to do. If you don't empower him to start taking his own decisions in line with how you are raising him, you are disempowering him, right? If you yourself are also disempowered, I don't know what to do, right? So that healthy masculine energy comes with decision taking, with empowerment. This is what I want to claim this. It doesn't come with avoidance. It doesn't come with fear. It doesn't come with tell me what to do. It comes with I am the man. I will lead in the 3D in the physical world, following your leadership, coming from the beyond, coming from the 5D. All right, you guys, I hope this was helpful. It was kind of a wandering around, but there were, some thoughts that I wanted to include in this episode. It's really, really important. But bottom line, remember what I told you. We raise them and we choose them. Every single woman that complains on a man, every single one complained on a man. Show me your son and show me your ex-partners. If they were all divine, fire away. Complain how other women did it wrong. But if you yourself in your life had distortion within your ex-partners and your boy is distorted as well, you can see this from early teens, to be honest. You are not allowed to complain on men. We raise them, we choose them. That's the ultimate rule. We are the creatrix. And the maturity of a divine feminine woman is to accept the collective responsibility of who we choose and who we create. We cannot just say, like, I was wounded, so I created a narcissist and I accepted a narcissist, but then I can complain on all other men. No. True divine feminine comes with maturity, with wisdom, with ancestral knowledge, of understanding that we're here in this together. This is a collective responsibility. You do not get to complain on men if what you are raising and if what you're choosing is rubbish. That's just it. All right, you guys, one more episode to go, and in that episode I want to focus on creating relationships, because one of the most important things that we teach our children is how to create relationships. We've talked about this briefly in one of the previous episodes that we were talking about. Can't remember what it was exactly. Yes, the differentiating between a parent and a friend, that you're a parent, you're not a friend. But I really want to break this down because it's important to make you realize how you, through embodiment as well, and through your own energy, you teach your child to create different types of relationships. And there are different types and levels of relationships in life. And if we learn this properly, we don't create codependencies. We feel comfortable in relationships. Whereas when this is distorted, we just confuse relationships and we create lack, codependency, pain, a lot of disappointments coming from expectations and hopes towards something existing within a relationship that is just has no right to exist in that type of relationship. So yeah, one more episode to go, and I hope this was helpful. I love you so incredibly much. If you're still here, please follow for more, share and comment to support, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.